Welcome back to the Fixed Vane channel, everyone. Guys, it is a very interesting situation right now, both nationally and within our state, and that is making it kind of just really hard to do anything exciting with the truck and just outside in general. You know, I mowed my yard for the first time this year. It's March 25th right now. That's pretty exciting, I guess, but other than that, I can't really get the truck out and do a whole lot with it. A lot of events are kind of getting canceled and upcoming into April and May and that kind of stuff. We'll kind of see how all this goes, and that's okay, and it's deemed necessary, so we'll kind of play ball as we need to. But one thing I wanted to do tonight, it's been a couple years, guys, since I started the channel, and since I've done a walk around of the truck completely. Now, this garage is not very good for that. The ceiling's a little bit low, and it's kind of just not great just to be able to see the whole truck at one time. So what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to take the truck out to our shop. It's got plenty of light, plenty of room to look around, and we'll do a full walk around video of the truck. Alright guys, so just a little bit of backstory on the truck here. So I bought this truck about 4.5 years ago. I think it was August of 2015, if I remember correctly. Basically between my junior and senior years of college down at U of I. Basically, I had a half ton. I had multiple Duramaxes already, and I went back to a half ton basically to pay for college. It was very expensive, obviously, and so basically just really wanted another diesel, right? And so I came across this truck. It was a little bit clapped out, let's be totally honest. High miles, 265-ish thousand miles when I bought it. 2001, front end swapped, built trans, new injectors, new head studs, new head gaskets, that kind of stuff, but overall pretty stock, basically just built trans and tuning, and that was pretty much it. So let's take a look at the body first. So this is an 01 truck. This is obviously not the bubble nose front end that came on the 01 to 02 trucks. This is a 05 to 07 front end. Now the hood is brand new. I went ahead and had everything color matched as much as possible up here as well over the years. The hood is probably 2 weeks old, as well as color matched fender flares. I have also replaced the doors. I've replaced the bed. Kind of just going all the way around the truck here. I've done quite a bit. The mirrors need to get redone, but I had those color matched at one point. They're just getting kind of rock chipped up and that kind of stuff. Roll pan bumper, roll pan hitch behind it. LED tail lights, LED headlights, etc., kind of just murdered everything out. I love a good black murdered out truck. I think they look great. But that's pretty much it for the outside. Basically try to keep it semi-stock looking, obviously, except for the wheels and tires. Wheels and tires here are a 20 by 12. They're a gear alloy 726 BM wheel wrapped in a 305/50 R20 Toyo Proxy. So a question I get a lot is, what is your suspension setup? You know, how are you able to fit these 20 by 12s in there? The short answer is that I don't, right? I had to do a little bit of trimming, as you can kind of see on the front end here. Definitely had to trim out the bumper and the inner fender there just a little bit to be able to fit those, and they still rub just a little bit when I lower the truck down, especially when I lower it down for drag racing or sled pulling or anything like that. But other than that, guys, we are stock suspension. There are Fox 2.0 shocks in the front, and that's about it. There's also Fox 2.0 shocks in the back, and I also have them in a vertical configuration. Not sure if that's actually going to help anything on sled pulling or drag racing at all, but it still looks pretty cool, and I'm hoping that it's actually helpful. But we're going to find out here shortly. Now, my big winter project for this year was completely redoing the frame. So me and a friend of mine, we basically took off the entire bed, and you can see my videos on this. We took off the bed and completely changed out all the cross members, did the vertical shock mount weld and fab up there, and then we went ahead and coated everything in POR15. You're going to get a great shot of my terrible looking rockers there at the same time. You can see that the frame underneath it looks amazing. Basically, that was an absolute ton of work, but it turned out amazing. The whole frame basically is very clean now, no rust anywhere, and we also went ahead and coated it in POR15, so it's a nice high gloss black, and it turned out really good, and I'm very happy with it. One last thing to mention on suspension quick, there is a set of 70-inch HSP traction bars on the truck. Now originally I had built my own set and they were okay, but they rattled quite a bit. They were using Heim joints versus using any kind of a better bushing joint, where these HSP bars are quite a bit stiffer, they're quite a bit quieter, and just better quality, obviously. So now if I were to do it all again, I would probably go with one-up off-road bars from the very beginning. However, those are over $1,000. Now, I think they're probably worth that money now not having them, but even so, I didn't want to pay that price at the time, but if I were to ever do it again, that's probably what I would go with. All right, let's get to something a little more exciting. All right, so we deviate from the black and under the hood just a little bit, thankfully. Start this off by saying this is a stock fuel truck for the most part, right? So there's a Fass 150 lift pump mounted on the frame down along the side. Apart from that, the only other thing it has is an LBZ CP3 and FPR. But other than that, it is stock injectors. They've there's probably 80,000 miles on this set of stock injectors, and they've been running fine. There's no issue. Therefore, there's no reason to change them yet. Now, if I were to do it all again, I'd probably go with a 65% over SAC, maybe a 45, but probably with a 65 to be able to allow for more room to improve in the future. Okay, so let's just work our way around here. So we got an HSP 4-inch fabricated intake coming to a DRP 3.5-inch intake horn. There's a WoldFab Quantum Max 64mm turbo in the back there, powdered obviously to match, and it's been running very, very well. I've had it in for just about a year now. Hot side piping coming around, stock intercooler to the cold side piping, all that from HSP as well. HSP thermostat kit, Billet thermostat kit coming across, HSP coolant reservoir in the corner there. That battery is now tucked down inside. You can barely see it in here, but it's tucked down here with a custom bracket that I make and sell. So that's all still there, still want to have it. Then just other bunch of pretty parts, right? So this was a pet project over the winter time, was taking a new alternator, tearing it down, sending it up to Worley Custom Fab, who's pretty close to me, having them powder the clamshell and then rebuilding it. Same thing here, just on the oil fill and that corner bracket there and that kind of stuff. Kind of just pretty parts. I think they look nice. I love this Illusion Cherry. Obviously a lot of other people do too, as is one of their most popular colors. But it looks really, really good, and it just gives kind of that pop and that little bit of play. A little bit of engine dress up. Now, one thing I forgot about is the Ybridge sticking back there. Obviously, it's all powdered the same as well. It's kind of hard to see it. That's why I forgot about it. But other than that, that's pretty much it on the air side. Now, on the exhaust side, there's a set of max flow manifolds and up pipes coming up to the turbo there, as well as then a 3-inch MBRP down pipe going to a 5-inch MagnaFlow exhaust coming all the way out to an MBRP 6-inch tip. Just nothing too gaudy. You know, it just kind of looks clean and classy. Gives it a good tone, and it's not as big as a stack or anything like that. Now, I've had a stack, and I actually do really, really like stacks, so I won't rip on them, but this is what we're working with currently. So the first question that gets asked a lot of times is how much horsepower does the truck make? And the short answer is right now I don't actually know. Basically, since I put the new turbo in, I have not had a chance to dyno it. Beforehand, when I was using a pretty much stock turbo on the same setup, built trans, you know, with a slightly modified turbo, it was sitting at 565. These are numbers that were backed up on the drag strip. 565 horsepower and about 1,150, 1,160 foot-pounds of torque. So pretty impressive for what the truck was. Basically stock turbo, built trans, stock injectors. So with a bigger turbo in, a little bit more flow, everything's ported out a lot better, bigger billet wheel, etc., etc. I'm hoping to be able to see that 600 horsepower mark without actually having to change out the injectors. Now, all that being said, all that horsepower is completely useless if you can't actually put it to the ground, right? So this is where all your supporting mods, both drivetrain, suspension, everything else come in, right? So we're talking about the transmission on this truck. So when I bought it, the transmission was already built, had a Suncoast Gmax 5 kit with a 1056 triple disc converter in it, and that's actually been running very, very well for me. It's probably been in for about 80,000 miles, and they have not exactly been the easiest miles. You know, if you watch the channel, you know that I sled pull and I drag race just a little bit, and I like to tinker around and play with the truck quite a bit. It is no longer a daily driver, it is just a toy, but even so, now the miles that I get are not exactly easy. So the weak link in the transmission here was that all of the shafts within it were stock, both the input, intermediate, and then also the output shaft. And so we were dirt dragging this past fall at an event, and I was playing with some new transmission tuning, TCM tuning, that was allowing me to launch in 4-high and second gear, which was actually allowing me to push up to almost, you know, upwards of 20 to 22 PSI before I actually launched. And so it's putting quite a bit of strain on the output shaft right from the very get-go, because the torque converter is not locked yet, and so all that's going straight to the output shaft. And frankly, it just snapped it right off. Basically, the truck was doing very, very well. It was undefeated at the time. We were getting close to the end, and then basically I had no gears. And so what we went ahead and did is I put a new OEM output shaft in there, and then actually upgraded the input shaft to billet there, because normally that's the one that generally breaks first. So I'm kind of regretting that decision, frankly, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, so that's the transmission. Transfercase, there's not really much to say there besides there's a transfercase brace. It's also been rebuilt with a pump rub kit, stock drive shaft, everything like that. U-joints are, nothing special either. Now the rear end does have a Detroit True Track in it. Just to help it out, it didn't actually go out, but at the same time, we knew that we were going to probably be something that we were going to look at it in the long term, especially for sled pulling, and also went ahead and put a PPE cover onto it as well. So the big thing with the Chevys, right, is that we're independent front suspension, and so if you're going to do sled pulling, you're going to dirt drag, or you're going to drag race on an actual strip or anything like that, you better have built up your front end to some degree, right? It's kind of hard to get in there, so what this truck actually has on it is there's a PPE Pittman and Idler support kit in there. There is an Empire stainless center link, straight center link, as well as kryptonite tie rods, death grip tie rods. That's pretty much it. I've got Cognito upper control arms. Basically, I just lower this sucker all the way down to the ground. Right when I'm sled pulling or drag racing, basically take the keys all the way out, the bolts out of the keys, let this thing sink all the way to the very ground, put the rear end up in the air, put some weight in it for sled pulling, that kind of thing, and really have not had an issue with it whatsoever yet. And that's pretty much the truck in a nutshell, guys. Now, I might have forgotten to mention a couple things like Fox 2.0 shocks all around the truck and that kind of stuff, but the big thing that I also like to do that's obviously not visible right now is I love sled pulling, guys. Sled pulling is one of the best things ever, especially when you're in Illinois, and we don't really have that many drag strips right here in central Illinois, so sled pulling is kind of your outlet for fun for trucks, right? So the other thing that I have done is on the back of my big hitch products hitch, which is hidden up behind the roll pan there, is I have welded vertical hitch receivers to be able to slide in sled stops to come out to obviously protect the truck against if the sled were to hit it, if something were to break, as well as a big DHD hitch, and then as well as suspension stops that will go in there to be able to make the rear suspension solid, etc., that kind of stuff. We also have a big weight bracket for the front of the truck. Obviously none of the stuff is on right now, but there's quite a bit of other stuff that just kind of hangs out in my garage just waiting for pulling season to come around again. So that kind of brings us up to upcoming events here, guys, and I won't get political on you because I'll just make a fool of myself, but obviously we're in kind of interesting times right now where a lot of stuff's getting postponed, a lot of stuff's getting canceled, and we'll kind of just see, right? So I have a big goal of this year to try to get an 11-second pass out of this truck. Now that might be a little bit high, that's basically 600 horsepower. If I could get this truck down to 6,500 pounds, I could kind of maybe, on the best pass ever, maybe break loose an 11-second pass, like an 11.99. We'll see what happens, but if there's no events to go to be able to do so, that gets pretty hard to do too, right? So I'm hoping to get up to Byron, Illinois. I think that's in kind of the first week of June, maybe. Also, the local drag strip at Havana, it's local, it's about 40 minutes from me. They have new ownership, and I know they're a little bit more friendly to, the rumor is it, they're a little more friendly to diesel trucks, so we'll kind of see what happens there. But other than that, it's basically sled pulling and just try to get out as many events as possible, just meet people, and that's what all this is about, right? It's what this whole YouTube channel was built for, just to be able to talk about trucks and meet guys and look at other people's trucks too, Guys, if you have any questions whatsoever on this truck at all, obviously I would love to talk about it. I'm talking about it right now, so clearly I like to talk about the truck and would love to answer any questions you have on it. Feel free to get a hold of me on here. Feel free to get a hold of me on my Instagram. The tags are all there in the description below. Other than that, guys, please remember to like and subscribe if you have not already. If you're new here, welcome. Other than that, guys, have a great night.